When it comes to dating, we hear it all the time. Who's the prize? What you bringing to the table? This whole racing and prize and choosing and all of that stuff. So, you know how we do, typical in Black Love Lens fashion. We are going to talk about it. So, you know the drill. Have a seat, get ready for the conversation. Feel free to join, share this with a friend, and let's get into it. I couldn't do this by myself, not by myself. So you know who I'm bringing. It's Wednesday, and this is Black Love Lens. So I'm not having this conversation without dating and relationship consultant Inyatu Marvel in the building.
Hey, Jamie. Happy Winning Wednesday.
Hey, Winning Wednesday. I'm feeling like a winner. I did all my adulting today, so yes.
Nice. Yeah, definitely a winning Wednesday for me. So, been disciplined. Did a cleanse this week. It's 3-day cleanse, and so this is my third day. Been disciplined about that. I barbecued for content and for my friends earlier today, but I didn't even eat any of that. But still a good time.
Very proud of you. So proud of you for sticking to your guns, exercising your willpower, and doing what you need to do for you. That's like utmost integrity.
Indeed.
I know how that goes. I've done it before. I'll do a 3-day juice fast and somebody win a prize. We hear a lot about prizes and winning and competition and all this. So I thought in true Black Love Lens fashion, it would be good to discuss this and see what it really looks like from a healthy and nuanced perspective. So let's play the clip.
Are you a prize if you only allow one man to compete for it? As soon as you meet a man you like, you allow only him to run the race for your heart. And you call yourself a prize. That ain't a prize, that's a participation trophy. It ain't a prize. Sometimes what you gotta say is, until I find a man worthy to earn my exclusivity, I am dating other people and let the best man win. That's because I'm a prize. I'm awarded to the person that finishes the race, that proves to be the most valuable, the most ready. Not because I meet one person and I allow him to run a race by himself, because at that point, he can take his time, can't he? He can choose to take breaks. He can sit down because he know nobody else is running. If you want me, earn me. Because if he thinks that you're supposed to take yourself off the dating market simply because he likes you, but he's not ready to actually step up and be a husband or a boyfriend, and that you're supposed to keep him as your only option, no. Tell him my heart is not a participation trophy, it is a prize. How are you a prize? Are you a prize?
Okay, intense. He said a lot of things there. We'll get Inyatu back, but for now, go to the chat. Hey, what's going on? Colton, what's going on? SJ. Okay, so let's dive into this conversation. Let me get Inyatu back. He must have been so disturbed. It just bounced out.
I tried to do something to take the glare off the glasses, and it did not work. I thought that it was going to work, but I am back. We are here. Ace metaphor. So I can only speak for myself.
I want to know all about it.
The right woman for me, the woman who I compliment her and she compliments me, and we make a great team. Oh my God, she is the prize. Hands down, no questions asked. That being said, I'm quite the valuable gent myself. And so I also see myself as the prize. That may not be a popular perspective on things, but certainly if I am the right man for a woman, I compliment her, I do all the things. How could that not be a prize? It doesn't matter what we try to tell ourselves. If it's our person, forever, yeah, that is a prize 1,000%. His theory about dating multiple people, that will work for some people. It will not work out well for others. People have to collect data on themselves, not based on preconceived notions, but at some point maybe experiment with it and see what feels good to you, and do that. There are some men who are happy to compete over women, and there are some men are going to think is worth competing over. I don't think I've ever felt that way before, though.
There's that.
If you,
What?
I'm a Picasso. I don't give Picasso to blind people. So we have to. If you don't see it, I'm not upset. But I just don't see me. A woman telling me about some other man's efforts and me using that as some type of gauge that I should try to compete with and beat. I'm going to be myself, and either that is for you or not. And I encourage any woman, to do the same thing. Be you, and of course, hopefully, the best version of yourself, not the representative, but an effort to be your best self in life, not just in relationships, but throughout the day. If you can, push yourself to be the best that you can be. And so, yeah, that for the right person, that is enough. More than enough.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I chose this video because I don't like the narrative concerns me a little bit, right? Of course, it's to each their own. But when we talk this lingo and this verbiage nowadays, to put all of these things in a box is it's a little bit destructive, because I do think it's sending messages to men. I genuinely feel like that, oh, she don't have a roster. I've had guys that I'm starting to date, talk about my roster, and they might talk about it in jest. And I get it. I'm a beautiful woman. I light up a room when I walk in. I'm all over here. I get all this. It is a lot. I get attention. But for me, any man who thinks that because I'm not talking to 10 different men, that I'm not a woman of value, or that just because they're there, it's a participation situation, would be mistaken. So for me, the way it works, if you're participating in the race at all, there's a chosenness to that. I don't even really let people run in and out and get that close to me in that type of space to just be rostering. I don't need that much dinner. I don't need that many good morning texts. I'm not that desperate for company. So any man that thinks just because I'm not dating a bunch of people that there are not things that he needs to do to compete for my heart in a particular way is really mistaken. I hope, and what I want to relay to men with, I don't even feel like I would want to have to say that, but if I'm allowing you on my phone, I am returning your FaceTime calls, I am letting you spend time with me in public, and I'm going through all those things, that there is the win. Like, you've already gotten somewhere. So it's up to you as a man to know and maintain and still show me what you're about, so I can continue to further make decisions about whether this is a place I want to be or not. And of course, vice versa. I'm sure you're checking me out and my behavior and my this and that. I'm pretty raw, there's no performance here. I like to be myself out the gate. I want us all to have a fair chance to see what we're working with. But yeah, to assume because there's not all these people running the race that it's just a participation trophy. Why would you want that if you're not competing? It's like, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, I definitely think that's, promoting dating just to be dating, right? Like you said, I don't need those dinners. And so that's what, women would be doing. It's like, okay, because Ace Metaphor said, I need to have more suitors, I need to go out with these other men too, because that is what makes me the prize, is having more men compete for it. I don't know the gentleman, but I imagine that when he's in the green room, that he's thinking to himself, I cannot believe that these women pay me all this money to say these things that they just want to hear. That sounds good is a great sound bite. I think is divisive, and it's interesting that is always the most popular way of approaching this is from a divisive standpoint. But yeah, in this industry, I think we are pushed into having a pharmaceutical approach, which is not a cure, not really helping someone get into a healthy relationship, but really keeping them single so they keep coming back and coming back and coming back. They say all the money is not in the cure, it's in the treatment, because that is the comeback. And so, I hate to say it, but this is so much of what I see out here, and this is the rhetoric that people love to spew and that people eat up because it's racy for the posts and the going back and forth and the divisiveness. And so I want us to come together. Dating multiple people works for some people. I'm one of those people, in fact. I could easily date multiple people, no problem. But some people, that is not their thing, and they should not force themselves to do that, just because of this theory about what makes a prize and how many people have to be competing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I've said this on here before. So first of all, let me address this. I love how you said, the money is in the treatment, not the cure, because this is what drives me a little crazy about this industry and what's happening, because there's so much more beauty and peace. Do we want peace, y'all? Do we want to feel calm? Because my nervous system can only take so much. And when I see stuff like this, I always say I feel like it is my job to neutralize some of the stuff I see. There's so much value in looking at what's in front of you. It is really hard to navigate. I posted today, there's an amazing guy, Talib Jasir. He's a friend of mine. He just wrote this digital book and music experience called Say Less. And it's like these haikus, and he's got like 9 little quick chapters, and it's so dope. But one of the things he said was, something about, basically you thought you knew me, but you didn't. And it's like we get it wrong all the time by categorizing people or listening to videos like this and taking it as law and running with it and applying all of these principles to our personalized situations as if it is fact. And I think we're messing it up. We're not getting to know people. I can even say, I've been on the giving and receiving end of that, where it's like, I can tell that this guy thinks I'm one of these types of girls. And it's like, I hate to be able to categorize like that, but unfortunately I'm seeing the way you're responding, and it's almost like you can't hear me at all. Mm. And I really want us to get back to the art of just getting to know people. And there's adjustments I'm going to make in my dating life with that, because I'm actually not somebody who wants to. I'm uninterested in a man. If he's dating a bunch of other people, then you do that. And if you see something over here, then we can focus on that and move forward. So it's probably best for me to just be friends with a guy. Like, we can be cool. We can have a certain level of acquaintance, but I, in my personal opinion, not what other people think, not what somebody told me, I find it hard to believe that for the level of relationship that I desire, that either one of us are really going to be able to get to know each other with, got this girl on the line, that girl on the line, I'm on FaceTime with you, hold on, this and that. I'm not doing all that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be here with a bunch of other people. So, but that's just me, and that's personal, and that's something I can relay, and that's something, so it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't mean I'm not a prize. It doesn't mean he's not a prize. Because in this day and age, let's be honest, I mean, it's always been that way, but any of y'all that can find somebody that makes you happy, everybody's winning.
What? you won a prize, right? That you get to keep forever, the gift that keeps on giving. So I support that concept 100%. But yeah, it's interesting because I study behavior, right? And so
Mm.
you look at the way he delivered it, aggressive, right? Because he gonna translate that aggression onto these women, right? And they gonna go and charge them into the dating world. And what? And they gonna be saying that to dude in the inbox. Are you crazy? I get 10
What are you
from
gonna
a
do
roster
for my
because I'm the prize. That's that. You supposed to, I recall a young lady. She was posting dates, but not her date on social media, and she was referring to the guy as Mr. Consistent, right? Right,
People
Mr.
get so mad.
Consistent
Yeah.
is taking her on cool dates. They going to cool places, and he's not letting up. He's on it.
Yeah.
And then she's like blowing my phone up. And I don't even want to answer because I want her to give Mr. Consistent the fullness of her intention. I want her to reward him for being Mr. Consistent. And maybe after a week, I answered the call, and it was like she wanted to leverage Mr. Consistent to make men who she was really interested in compete. It's just like, no, I think you should give Mr. Consistent a fair shot. I was dead serious. Like, man, why won't you? It's like this is what you say you want. This is what's important. Da, 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 da. What's wrong with all these men who are not being consistent? Then here comes a guy who's doing all the things you said, and you trying to get somebody else to outdo him.
It really is giving insanity.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe somebody that inspired them to want to be even more consistent than Mr. Consistent and get the title Mr. Extra Consistent. It did not make me want to do that at all. I was rooting for Mr. Consistent. I felt like he deserved a real chance.
But in Yatu, you're a good man.
I mean,
so the lens of what you're speaking of, to me, I think that makes sense for the type of men or women are saying we want. So if that's what you're seeing when you say, if this is what you're picking up from what she's putting down,
right?
I'm willing to bet that this is not the thing that works depending on the caliber of man you want.
I try to communicate that to her. I try not to coach everybody all the time.
Yeah.
I try to communicate that to her, like, are you collecting the data on yourself right now so that you understand that you don't really care that much about consistency? It's not enough to keep your attention. And so ironically, I've had over the years several women, say that to me, and I'm like, but you don't like the guy you say you want guys to do that, but when guys do that, you don't like them. I can see that. I don't see why you can't see that if over and over again, when a guy comes along and does all the things that are on the list, that are in the posts on social media, fit the criteria for the posts in the list, why it's not, you're looking for something else. And so, yeah, people really need to pay attention to themselves and not care nothing about what anybody is talking about in social media about what they need, except for a healthy experience for them, which is unique to you, because everybody is different. What's healthy for one person will be super toxic for another. And so, yeah, know who you are, understand what you need, and you'll be amazed at how that will contribute to you attracting exactly what it is that you need.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And it's the parroting for me. I need a man who's consistent. I need a man. Do you know what that even means to you? Because sometimes consistency does not mean, listen, I've dated a man who was consistent and he had a whole pregnant girlfriend.
I don't understand why people don't.
But them calls and text came on the dime. He called when he said he was going to call. Every morning I will wake up to the Good Morning Beautiful, which was probably a copy and paste mass text to whoever he was interested in. If he said he was going, he was just, oh, the game was really, and we get fooled by this stuff that we're parroting. I need a man who's consistent, but like you said, but you said this is Mr. Consistent, and now you're posting him up, and now you're on my line too. So, girl, what is it? What you want? And you want me to get involved in that? As somebody who is sound and someone who has done the inventory and the work, you want me to get involved in your chaos? And this is what I also want men. Like, I'm so glad you said that, because men don't deserve to be in that either. And the way I look at it, and what I feel like is missing, and I also, I'll give you the flip side of the coin of where I struggle, where I see I'm kind of finding some struggle is like, this is the thing for me. And I know this is lost. I feel like people don't even, I feel like there is men who can't even comprehend this, but when I date, I'm dating for real. Now, it's one thing if we go down the path and find out we're not compatible. That is okay. This is a trial period. We're trying to see. So it doesn't mean you're taking me out. Where's my wedding ring? When are we doing this? Do you want to meet my daddy? It's not that. Now, in an ideal, it's like I am dating for marriage, which means let's see how compare. But I'm going to treat you like I'm going to treat you from the gate. I'm not going to post you and play you. You really might be my husband. We don't know yet. So I'm going to post Mr. Consistent while I have some other guy over here seeing me do all this. I would never embarrass my man like that. But that's how I move, with true intentions, with loyalty. Yeah, there's a loyalty. I'm not one of those chicks, well, I don't owe you loyalty until I'm going to come out the gate with the intention to go in a direction. But I can also see on the other side of that, and this is what I want to ask you, there's a lot of guys, due to these narratives that, and the other women that they might come across and date and do decide to entangle with, that don't understand the level of pureness that actually is available from a woman who really does just want to focus on them, who really does just want to get to know them, with all honesty, without all of that other stuff.
Yeah, I think that the narrative has been and is being pushed that all women have rosters, right? And so there are some men who are totally buying into that, and they think that every woman they meet has, somebody they're already sleeping with, and some guy that's paying for stuff, and some guy that fix stuff, and so
Like,
you have this total a squad of people who cater to your various needs in the way that they are capable of, and certainly that's not true. My dad used to talk to me about the law of opposites, man. Whatever exists, the opposite of that exists, and so there are some women who have rosters, and there are some women who don't have rosters, and I don't think that women who don't have rosters are necessarily unicorns. I think there's a significant number of women, a significant percentage of the female woman population that does not have a roster and does not date casually.
So what do you think this type of thing does to the male psyche? Do you really feel like, because we learned this, right, that men are competitive by nature, and if they're not competing, they don't feel like they won anything, and this is where the 90-day rule and all of this other stuff came in. So do you feel like this type of narrative is really affecting men on a level that appeals to their competitive nature, but is kind of leading them astray in how they choose the women that they decide to entertain and pursue?
I think a lot of men don't subscribe to the compete thing.
Okay.
They're gonna interpret that as you don't really like them and move forward. And I'm not saying that women who want men to compete for them are bad. Some men won't want to compete for you. So what? They ain't the one for you, right? That's what that means, right? Some men take pleasure in that. I have noticed in the hip hop community and the celebrity community that is really a thing, right? That these guys all date the same women, and they want to steal the woman. They was liking the woman before he was with before they broke up, and so they want to be the next person that the woman gets with, and so in that realm, that is totally a thing. We watched Michael B. Jordan go hard on some levels for Lori Harvey when he was pursuing her, buying out restaurants and things of that nature. So there are men who, are with the sport and the compete type of energy. Or maybe we're all with it and we just approach it differently. Like I said, my idea of competing is really being true to myself and that winning the prize for me, right? So that's my way of competing. So that doesn't mean like I'm not going to do anything cool, but it won't be to be trying to outdo anybody else. It's just what I like to do, and that's what I do. I enjoy the experience at this restaurant. I want to share my experience and what I enjoy with you, so you can get a sense and a feeling and experience what I enjoy too, and see if it's enjoyable for you as well. So I'm not
so simple.
I don't want to take you to a restaurant that I hate and you like.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to curate an enjoyable experience, but I think a lot of men will categorize a woman who is looking for a man to compete, and there are a lot of men who will happily compete depending on how much they value that woman's status.
Yeah, and when I think about a prize and I hear this type of talk, sometimes I wonder to myself, isn't everything you've been through enough hoops? Like, why do you want to go through hoops with me? Why do you want this? You already got here. Now is the time to you jump through hoops to get here. The last 6 relationships didn't work. You have a child, you're paying child support, you see your kid holidays and birthdays, that's a hoop. The last relationship didn't work, that's already another hoop. You getting to me, but I do see myself as a prize, and not like I'm the prize, but I know who I am and what I offer, the way I'm willing to love, what I can give. It's a win to be with me. And of course, obviously, if I choose you and we're choosing each other, it's a win to be with you as well. But it's like, if you get here and again, you've cultivated what it takes within yourself to already be in a position where a woman like me even allows you in my space. The hoops are done. Now it's just like we don't need to compete and fight anymore, because sometimes I can really feel it. I feel like, guys want me to test them in a way and I'm really about my beingness. You're going to be tested by default, just trying to become one with a different adult. The tests are built in. Right. But I'm not going to do this with you. I'm tired.
Right.
Don't subscribe. Fellas, unsubscribe. It's just so unnecessary. And we both have to do the work. But for men, I feel like women, we get it, right? Because it'll be like, this was the whole thing one time. All men are dogs. Da, 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 da. And men were like, nah, that's the men you choosing. Correct. But sir, please, you too have to be in a level of alignment to choose well as well. You need to know what that means for you. Because when you come across somebody that might, we're all fumbling bags in a way.
I think, different men have different goals, or when they meet different women, they have different goals. Sometimes the man's goal is to sleep with that woman. And so it's like, whatever it takes to sleep with that woman, he's okay with doing. Sometimes a man, wants to take a woman off the market, right? And so he's willing to do things that he thinks will take her off the market. And then that doesn't necessarily mean be with her forever. It might mean be with her forever, or it might just mean take her off the market so that he has exclusive access and no one else does, for ego reasons or pleasure reasons, or everybody's different, even narcissists different different reasons. And then sometimes a man sees and feels that this could be forever, and so that's what he's looking to achieve. And so I think if two people, anybody is really feeling someone else and really likes them or whatever, that it's natural to look at ways that possibly you could impress them or impress upon them, make them feel special, show them that you see them as special, and achieve making them feel special. I don't think that's a bad thing, but sometimes it feels like people are just, it's sport, right? It really is. It's not about making me feel special or anything like that. It has nothing to do with me or has nothing to do with you. It's just sport. And God bless. Some people enjoy that too. It takes all different types to make it work. So this is why we say collect the data, know what's good for you. If you find out it's healthy and good for you, don't feel bad about it. Do your thug thizzle, whether it lines up with what society is talking about or even what I'm talking about. If you are in a healthy space, you are in a joyous space, you are in a great rhythm, stay in that rhythm. Do whatever got you in that rhythm, and do whatever it takes to stay in that rhythm. But stop living by other people's mantras and then being upset that it's not working for you. Be careful about who you listen to. Some people are speaking to you to keep you adversarial with the opposite sex, which will keep you single and or in relationships that don't serve you in the long run.
Yeah, no, you said that so well. So can we just pause on that? Because all of that, okay? All of that. Like, rewind, play it back. It's that.
We know what the clip is going to be this week, huh?
We know what the clip is going to be. Like, let's just be real here. SJ said that sports stuff is annoying, though. And it is. And I was going to mention that out, the people who want to do things a particular way, stay away from the sports people. You're going to need to understand what that level of discernment looks like. Let them sport and play. Because we know what that looks like.
To be a sport, no.
Because you know what this sports stuff, birth is all of these women. Well, what you going to do for me? And you going to pay my bills and da-da-da-da. Now, there are women who want the man to provide da-da-da, but there's a different tone to some of that stuff. So when you want to play for sport, there's times that I feel like women can smell it, and it's like, okay, so I'm gonna really make him play.
Yeah, sometimes women just see if they can get my attention for sport.
Yeah, and then vice versa, the attention thing. Yeah,
even if it's just temporary, even if it's just one day, one moment, can I get his attention for sport? Sometimes it's a little further than that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't had any women ask me to pay her bills. Women will sometimes say something about their bills, which is the subliminal way of putting it out there.
Roundabout.
Help would be welcomed in this moment, but not being asked for. But I don't want you to ever say I didn't tell you. Type of approach. Again, I'm not knocking anybody. God bless. Do his best for you, because some men do like to pay bills. That's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
There's a gold digger. They like looking for a woman whose bills that they can pay because they pride themselves in being providers, and that's how they measure provision. And so that's what they want to do. God bless. And so those women and those men need to connect.
Yeah.
You got the bills, he got the money. And if you got the money, sir, she got the bills.
Like, you got to make it work. And it's everything that you said. And, SJ is right. It does promote singleness. And I think that's where some of the stuff is getting mixed up. So as much as I'm all about inclusivity, this would be a place to compartmentalize and to like box yourself off with the people that match you. Because there's just some games that I'm not willing to play. And it's not going to look like that. It's not going to look like her. It's not going to look like you know, I'm not about to do all that. And it's just, I've always pictured this whole thing being easy. I like you, you like me, like, let's make it work. I don't, all of this other stuff, I really sometimes feel like I was born in the wrong era. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why it has to be so chaotic. And social media, if you're not careful, like you were saying at the very top, it really promotes a divisive narrative. Um, and you know, I'll speak for women. Like we've got to just walk in self-love, have our intuition, and move in it, and discernment. If we can do those things, I think the rest will be okay. Look at this stuff as entertainment or scroll through it as fast as you can and whatever it is, but don't let it impact you to where you really are showing up in these men's face. Like, why are you doing that to him? You don't even know him.
Right.
You don't even know how he, like, can you get to know who's in front of you without the zillions of voices of the scrolls telling you all of these things? Can you just be with someone and see where it goes, like in peace?
Right.
And you can, I promise.
Absolutely. You have to differentiate between the outside voices and your own uh, inner voice.
And move accordingly, especially to what feels good.
And I mean, feels good spiritually, not just feels good to your ego, but feels good to your soul, feels good to your heart, feels good to your peace of mind, things of that nature. Not just an ego boost, because that's what that's what that a lot of what's going on is people just doing stuff for ego boosts, and it's not. There's no long-term satisfaction in that, so you continuously be chasing ego boost after ego boost after ego boost after ego boost, and yeah, I would imagine that it'll get tiring at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Because if you need that type of ego boost, I talk so much about ego in my life coaching because we're so confused by it. And if you need all that ego boost in the beginning and you date like that, and that's what you need, like when you get into a relationship, that is just exhausting. It's just too much performing now. And it's like, it's always going to be this person is not, and he ain't, and he ain't. And it's just like this constant, beast to feed. And it's the littlest thing. So, like you said, when it comes to what feels good, it is what feels good to your highest version of you, not the little one screaming on the side, the part that you're supposed to fix and keep in check and tell yourself you're beautiful, tell yourself or whatever it is that you think you need from other people. Some of
Right.
this stuff we're supposed to handle on our own because it is the ego. Just this little voice trying to keep us safe from something that might happen whenever it happened. It means well, but you need to know when to be like, shh. Like if you're gonna sit here, you need to be quiet.
Right. So, in closing for me, I think that, you are the prize. And I think that instead of just looking at that from the standpoint of the benefit and the title, to look at what the responsibility of that means. It means that we truly have to be the prize to that other person. If you want to be valued, if you want to be chosen by a particular type of man and or woman, then you have to be what that man or woman needs and wants. And so, I really focus on working on myself, right? Not working on coming up with a list of all the things I deserve from a woman.
Come on.
Really working on being the best man and partner I can possibly be to attract and sustain, what it is that I want and need. And that's the only way that I see that that's going to happen. I can't demand it. I can't even coach it. That I can't coach the women in my personal life into being the one. Either you are, or you have some other way that you can grow that doesn't involve me. But that's something I had to come to grips with, is that
Yeah.
no coaching in the personal relationship. You meet the
Yeah.
person, where they are, and if you cannot, then move on. But it's just like, but I could fix that so easy.
Mm-mm. No, you're not a client. We're
No,
partners.
no,
We
that's
are
not
trying
what they
to.
signed up for. They
Yeah,
signed up
absolutely not. And
to
that's
be
not fair to
my
you.
patient. So yeah, no.
Yeah. No, I don't even, you know, everything you said. That's what it is. That sounds healthy. That sounds adult. It sounds mature. It sounds loving. It sounds whole, and it sounds peaceful. And that's all. That's it.
Nothing.
That's all.
And so this is kind of random. We were talking about the prize. You talked about running the race, and so yesterday was one of my favorite hip hop artists' birthday, Nipsey Hussle. So I have a marathon
Marathon.
T-shirt on right now because I'm in it for the long run. Right?
Yes.
We're gonna talk about a prize, and a race is gonna be a marathon. We're not gonna never be through done running this race, and so I just want to put that out here. People looking for these microwave situations and microwave love, that is not the recipe for the long run. For the marathon
Correct.
is love and long-term healthy happy relationship. I always enjoy having these conversations with you, Jamie. I think you picked the right video.
We pulled something out of it, didn't we?
Yes, indeed. We have been able to do that. And so, yeah, I am Inyatu Marvel. They call me Mr. Hitch. You can see on the screen Inyatu Marvel is Hitch. No spaces is my Instagram. My government name, Inyatu Marvel, is where you can find me on Facebook. Both my pages are totally public. Everybody can see everything. You can go to thehitchagency.com and find out more about me, the services that I offer, and possibly even sign up for a 15-minute consultation to see if we are a good fit for the cure, not the treatment.
Okay.
But the cure. I do not want to keep you single. Somebody said in an event the other day that they were talking about black men unifying, and one of the guys said that was more important than talking about how men and women can get along together better. And that might have been a shot at me, but I don't care. I think it's very important for black men and women to know how to come together, and that even black men coming together can be more effective if it's supported by the women in those men's lives, and vice versa. So.
Yeah, and if the men are supporting each other, like, I think it's all necessary. So I love it. I'm here for it. Thank you for always being a reasonable and balanced, healthy voice. I think it's important. I love having men on my show, particularly black men, because again, we got to neutralize a little bit. You're going to hear something crazy, I'm going to be like, no, you need to. There are sane people out here, and people who care and want to love and want to go for the long haul and are willing to do the work. So I don't feel like I'd be doing my job if I didn't highlight and have discussions like this that show that, because it's really easy to be like, well, everybody's like this. Dating in 2023 is trash. You might have to dig through the trash, but I mean, there are some diamonds and gems there. All hope is not lost. There are people with a healthy head on their shoulders. So, and you guys know the drill with me. This is my YouTube. If you like this, share it with a friend, repost it, comment. We love to hear your sides of things. Subscribe to the channel for good, healthy conversation. You can find me at Jamie Alexander, spell my name correctly. On Instagram, I like to have fun. I like to be silly, but I like to deliver, good content too. And I'm really having fun with my coaching program, the Sassy Method. So getsassy.sassymethod.com. You can also get a 20-minute consultation with me to see if we are, a good fit and our vibes match for you to be in the Sassy Method. And just like you, I am all about the treatment, the cure. Once you do the 18-week program, you're going to be different. You're going to have the tools. You're going to have what you need. This is not about a perpetual state of sickness or singleness or craziness or whatever it is that you need to get out of. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Happy Winning Wednesday, everybody.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Next week.
Bye.